In a significant shift reshaping global energy dynamics, European nations are turning away from American natural gas supplies in favor of Canadian resources. This strategic pivot comes amid tensions over U.S. trade policies and energy security concerns. The transformation began during the energy crisis that emerged from the Russia-West conflict. As European nations reduced their dependence on Russian gas, U.S. liquefied natural gas initially seemed like the solution. However, this period was short-lived. European consumers and leaders have become frustrated with high prices and aggressive trading conditions from American companies, says analyst Maria Thompson. There's a perception that the U.S. is wielding energy exports as a political weapon. Canada is positioning itself as a more reliable and environmentally conscious energy partner. With vast natural gas reserves and commitment to environmental protection, Canada is emerging as Europe's preferred energy ally. Their plans include new LNG terminals and investments in renewable infrastructure. The shift extends beyond natural gas. European automotive manufacturers, meeting electrification targets, are looking to Canada for clean energy partnerships. This affects both U.S. energy exports and automotive sector cooperation. We're seeing a strategic realignment, explains Dr. James Roberts. Europe is signaling its desire to reduce U.S. market dependency while advancing its green agenda. Canada's environmental credentials make it an attractive alternative. For the U.S., the implications are significant. The loss of European market share impacts energy companies and the broader economy. Analysts suggest this might force American companies to reassess their pricing and environmental policies. This dynamic reflects a trend where traditional alliances are reshaped by environmental concerns and balanced partnerships. For European leaders, Canada represents a more predictable partner in pursuing energy security and sustainability. In a significant shift reshaping global energy and automotive relationships, European nations are increasingly turning to Canada over the United States, marking a strategic pivot in transatlantic trade relations. The movement, driven by Europe's 2030 to 2050 green energy targets, has caught American energy giants off guard. These companies, which have long viewed Europe as a lucrative market, now face a challenging reality as European buyers seek alternative partnerships. We're witnessing a fundamental realignment, says Dr. Marcus Weber, an international trade analyst. European leaders, frustrated with high U.S. prices and protectionist policies, are actively pursuing a different path with Canada. Canada's diplomatic offensive has proven timely and effective. Despite infrastructure limitations for LNG exports, substantial investments are expected to bridge this gap, backed by European demand and contract commitments. The automotive sector tells a similar story. With the EU's move to ban internal combustion engines by 2035, Canada's vast reserves of critical minerals have become attractive to European manufacturers. Germany, France, and Scandinavian countries are securing supply chain agreements for electric vehicle components with Canadian suppliers. While the U.S. possesses similar mineral resources, strict regulations make extraction challenging. Washington's electric vehicle incentives haven't appealed to European investors, driving them toward Canadian partnerships. The U.S. response has been diplomatically restrained, with official statements acknowledging Europe's sovereign decisions. However, American energy and automotive lobbies express concerns about revenue losses and diminishing influence. This strategic shift comes as global supply chains are being re-evaluated. The strengthening Canada-EU partnership signals a new chapter in international trade relations, potentially reshaping the balance of economic power in the North Atlantic region. The global energy landscape is shifting as European nations increasingly turn to Canada over the United States for their energy needs, marking a crucial change in transatlantic relations and energy security partnerships. Europe, committed to carbon neutrality through the Green Deal, finds Canada's environmental stance more aligned with its vision compared to the United States, whose complicated relationship with environmental standards makes it less attractive for clean energy cooperation. Recent political dynamics have accelerated this trend. While the U.S. has struggled with its international image following America First policies, Canada maintains a more favorable standing. Despite Biden's efforts to rebuild trust, protectionist measures continue to strain relations. Canada's NATO and G7 membership, along with its diplomatic moderation, has positioned it as an attractive partner, particularly in energy and automotive sector collaborations. German companies are signing long-term natural gas agreements with Canada, signaling a strategic pivot. European nations, having invested in U.S. natural gas terminals, are now planning for Canadian LNG supplies. This threatens American LNG exporters, as European contracts with the U.S. have been mostly short-term purchases. The U.S. faces domestic challenges that complicate its response. Elections, partisan contests, and debates about inflation have diverted attention from international partnerships. Canada's growing energy and mineral export capacity could reshape global markets. While traditionally focused on the U.S. market, Canada is developing LNG facilities to serve Asian and European markets. As electric vehicle adoption accelerates and oil demand potentially decreases, these evolving energy partnerships could significantly impact global trade and international relations. Recent developments suggest a shift in global energy and automotive partnerships, challenging American industrial dominance. Europe's collaboration with Canada in green hydrogen and electric vehicle technologies signals a transformation of trade relationships. American automotive giants face pressure as European markets implement stricter emission standards and taxes. Despite Washington's domestic incentive packages to retain automotive manufacturing, these efforts may fuel tensions with European partners. The landscape is changing dramatically, says Dr. Marcus Weber, European trade policy analyst. American manufacturers hesitant to establish European operations may find themselves marginalized by EU regulations. Canada's role as Europe's preferred partner reflects a strategic pivot. Unlike the U.S. trade stance, Canada's approach aligns with European environmental values and sustainability goals. Their commitment to forest protection and environmental policies contrasts with America's state-by-state regulations. Europe's green transformation spans industrial processes, transportation, construction, and agriculture. This approach makes Canada attractive for technology transfer and research initiatives. While American influence remains strong, these developments could limit Washington's global leverage. As U.S.-China rivalry escalates, Europe seeks to diversify its economic partnerships while maintaining military ties with America. Canada's position, maintaining defense relationships with the U.S. while advancing green energy projects with European partners, introduces new dynamics to North American relations. Europe is signaling its intention to reduce dependency on any single partner, notes Sarah Thompson, international energy consultant. This strategy, favoring Canadian cooperation, could reshape transatlantic economic relationships for decades. The trend reflects Europe's strategy to maintain security ties with the U.S., while pursuing independent economic partnerships in green technologies and sustainable development. In a significant development changing global energy politics, European nations are increasingly turning from U.S. partnerships toward Canadian resources. This shift marks a pivotal moment in transatlantic relations, with major implications for American influence. Industry analysts cite several factors driving this change. U.S. liquefied natural gas prices have risen sharply, while political uncertainty has made European leaders cautious. The uncertainty in American markets has forced us to explore alternatives, says European Energy Commissioner. Canada has emerged as an attractive partner, offering reliable and environmentally conscious energy trade. Their commitment to sustainable practices and flexible agreements has resonated with European decision-makers. This strategic pivot raises questions about energy security. Some experts warn of new dependencies, while others support this diversification strategy. The impact reaches the automotive sector, where American manufacturers struggle with European emission standards as Canadian-European partnerships grow. This could reshape electric vehicle production across the Atlantic. Washington now faces a challenge: maintaining its position while competing with Canada's appeal. The Biden administration hasn't yet announced measures to address this. Key questions remain. Can Canada maintain its clean energy commitment? Will American energy companies develop new strategies? The answers will emerge as this global energy situation develops. This shift reflects broader changes in international alliances, where partnerships are being reconsidered based on environmental concerns and political stability. These changes could alter the power balance in global energy markets,